कुंदेन्दु तुषार हार धवला या शुभ्र वस्त्राविता या कुंदेन्दु तुषार हार धवला या शुभ्र वस्त्राविता या वीणा वरदंड मंडित करा या श्वेत पद्मासना या ब्रह्मा चतुशंकर प्रभृति देवहि सदा वंदिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निशेष जाड्यापहा. Namaskar and very good morning to all the esteemed panelists and participants. I'm Dr. Supriya, the coordinator of Amity Center for Performing Arts and Amity Center for Sanskrit and Indic Studies, ASLA, at Amity University, Haryana. The lockdown had and all be a very unique time in our lives, a time like no other. Today, during the difficult time, we derive a lot of inner strength from our culture and ethos to cope with the pressure unleashed by the pandemic COVID-19. In this context, we have organized today a panel discussion on art, culture, and values. As the savior of humankind during COVID-19 pandemic, it is a pleasure for me to introduce our esteemed panelists. To chair the session today, we have our Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Padma Kelly Banerjee. She has over 25 years of experience in research, teaching and training and academic administration. She has extensive experience as an executive and life coach and psychologist. As the founder Pro Vice Chancellor of Amity University, Gurgaon, she has introduced many innovative practices in teaching learning processes. But her contribution is not limited to that. She has also been the exponent of art. And under her leadership, AUH has a vibrant cultural environment and many new artistic pursuits are nurtured. She has been working extensively in the art area of positive psychology and has written a popular book, Power of Positivity, Optimism, and the Seventh Sense. That is the landmark self-help book to enhance optimism as an attitude for success and well-being. It is our good fortune that Madam has consented to chair the session. Welcome, ma'am. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. We feel proud to have with us legendary Kathak dancer and my Guru, Padma Shri Dr. Shobna Narayan. A name synonymous with Kathak, is a celebrated outstanding doyen of this art form, breathing the spirit and ethos of Indian spirituality, classicism, and artistic excellence. For her outstanding consistent and trend-setting pioneering work in Kathak, she has been awarded the prestigious Padma Shri Award by the President of India in 1992 and the Sangeet Natak Academy Award for 1999, 2000 in 2001. She is also the recipient of over 30 national and international awards. She is author of 16 books and numerous articles for InTouch, UNESCO, and such other prestigious organizations. She is also a visiting lecturer to several universities in India and abroad, and has given several hundreds of lectures, demonstrations, and motivational workshops all over India and across the globe. Charting new path, Guru Shobna Narayan is perhaps the only example of a person who has pursued two parallel professional career as a civil servant, IAS 1976 batch, and a recognized Kathak dancer, Guru, achieving distinction and great heights in both. On behalf of Amity University family, we welcome you, ma'am. We are also pleased to have with us Professor Dr. Sanjay Kumar Jha. Professor Jha, a widely acclaimed is currently associated with Amity University, Haryana as Director of Liberal Arts and Foreign Languages. Professor Jha is the product of University of Mumbai, Deakin College, Pune, and the University of California, USA, for his core specialization in applied linguistics. Professor Jha started his professional career as research scientist from Indian Institute of Technology, Mumbai, where he worked for two prestigious machine translation projects, namely Universal Networking Language of United Nations University, Tokyo, and WorldNet project of Ministry of Information Technology, Government of India, respectively. Professor Jha has taught in several premier university of Africa for more than a decade, with 3 books and more than 100 research papers in peer-reviewed journals to his name. Professor Jha is an outstanding extemporaneous speaker and debater of language, pedagogy, and social issues. I, on behalf of Amity Center for Performing Arts, ASLA, and Amity Institute of Skill, extended warm welcome to all the dignitaries. The mentor for this extraordinary panel is Dr. Reena Nigam, who is heading Skill Development Initiative at Amity University, Haryana. She is deeply passionate about art and culture, and that's why she is the obvious choice to moderate the session today. I would now request her to take the session forward. Thank you.
Ma'am, I was saying that it's a very fortunate moment for us and Amity University that we have the 3 exponents of art, culture, and values here with us. And although we were feeling pretty, down and out because of the lockdown, and we are not able to meet very often, but now we are together, and we are going to talk about this beautiful topic, which is here: art, culture, values, the savior of humankind. And I just hope that by the end of the session discussion, we know that yes, this is our savior, and with all 3 of you, I'm sure that that's going to happen. So I welcome all of you again. Supriya, of course, has introduced beautifully all of you.
Thank you, ma'am.
And now I'm going to again say that, ma'am, Dr. Padma Kali, ma'am, you're chairing the session, and we know that you're an artist, you are a Visharad in music, and we know that you're a youth leader also. Ma'am, can I ask you the first question, being the chair, that, ma'am, we all know that art and culture, of course, has a lot of positive effect. But can we really think that art and culture is going to be a savior in this crisis time, where feeling negative with the disease around?
Okay, very good morning to one and all. Thank you, Reena, for the question. But firstly, let me tell you that we see the world through our cultural glasses, and it is a reality that, we have a period in the history. If you go back, there was one set of belief about cultural differences, one set of belief about a world which was very disconnected, one set of belief that you could collectively program our mind to differentiate between people from one culture to the other. But something very beautiful has happened. I think, I would say post 1990, not only with globalization, but with this, beautiful discovery of internet, and this whole way that we see the world has suddenly changed. All of us grew up studying about Hofstede and all kinds of power distance and different kinds of theories and models about culture. But let me tell you that what we are witnessing, I mean, this era in this last 10, 15 years, possibly no one has ever seen. And of course, we do not know the future. In the moment, I thought, let us really look at it, that this is one of the miracles of reality, that how, the world evolves, how things change. For example, that, the kind of, unprecedented and problematic thing that has happened due to this pandemic is that, we in the month of March were so unaware of this kind of a transformational change that's going to take place in our lives. We were little aware about the kind of disturbances that's going to happen in our day-to-day living. And have we ever imagined a situation of a lockdown like this? We cannot. So basically, what we really saw was there was a sudden change in the way we behaved. And one of the very beautiful things that I must mention here in the context of culture is that when you're talking, you're looking at the world, suddenly India came into the forefront. One of the big reasons was this cultural exchange of see how Namaskar became a world phenomena. So that's a little bit about culture. But more importantly, today I'm very delighted because we have none other than Padma Shri Shobna ji with us. And for a very long time, I have been telling Dr. Supriya and Dr. Reena that we need to really invite her over because it was a month of March and we were celebrating the International Women's Day. So thank you, Shobhaji, that you're here, Shobnaji, that you're here, and you are going to really enlighten our students. At the same time, I would like to leave you with some of my thoughts about the role of how art and literature is changing our lives. I think what is closest to our heart is music, dance, and drama, storytelling. And if you look at Kathak, it is all in one. It talks about drama, it's storytelling, it's music, it's dance. So I think this particular session is going to be for all of us a session of mindful meditation, where all the participants are going to listen to you. And we at Amity University, Haryana, we are a research and innovation driven university. And in the recent past, we have introduced performing arts in the Amity Institute of Liberal Arts. Dr. Jha and I, we have really worked on into the area where we started Sanskrit Indic studies. So we are very close to the sanskar and values of the Indian culture. And today, the world over, people are looking at us, the way we are relating to each other. Even in this pandemic, in this social distancing, we are very close to our people, our family, our neighbors. That's the kind of our culture. So I think with these words, I would really want to invite and want Shobna ji to really create that kind of vibrance that we see whenever we see you on the stage. Or nowadays, luckily, we have the YouTube and so many other ways to reach out to you. So everyone here is waiting, and I am personally very excited because I've left classical singing many, many decades back after school, college, and then moved on to a different career. But you have balanced two different careers, which is amazing. So great. So I'm really looking forward that today it is going to be a great session of the next 1 hour of complete immersion. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Shobna ji, I know that I've never missed any event. Whenever I got a chance to see you on stage, I was always there. And I'm sure that this must have been an amazing journey for you, and from a bureaucrat to an artist par excellence. So first of all, ma'am, we're very, very curious to know about that journey from you. I'm sure everyone here is curious to know.
Well, my journey started very, very early. Let me first start, that by the time I came into my adolescent age, I was already a dancer. But the whole stepping stone started when I was barely 3 years old and in Calcutta. And therefore, after that, there's not been a single day without dance. I just love dancing. Dance, as I say, is my Atma. It's my soul. Imagine, without breathing, how can you live? So that is for me. Dance is my breath, so I can't live without it. But yes, I have seen that change happening. I'm also addressing a few issues that she had mentioned. The Honorable Vice Chancellor had mentioned. And so that journey from adolescent and about changes, the first thing she talked about was changes. So from adolescent age to today, it's been a fabulous journey. It's a journey of constant learning. There's never been a period where I have not learned, not a single day where I have not learned, not a single moment where I have not learned. When we were growing up, there was a certain way of keeping the hands. There was a certain said thing, the done thing, that you have to behave like this on stage. You have to behave like that on stage. And at that time, the norm was, you should not open your mouth when you're smiling, to show your teeth. And then when I was performing, and that was everybody said, what held you back? What held you back? I said, I don't know what held me back, but something did. So they said, why? I said, I couldn't let go. You said not to. And when I smile with all my 32 teeth showing. And so I said, I was trying to contain it, to just beam like that, because that's the done thing. So, in fact, it was Naina Devi, the famous Thumri singer, who said, "Ye sab chhado, what do you feel? Let yourself go. Be one with the art. Just let yourself go and be true to who you are and what you are." And then I said, okay. And the next time I was smiling with my 32 teeth showing. And then I felt much better about it. And so I learned, it was the first learning about how to, sort of be at ease with oneself. Then the next one was, again, a classroom learning is different from a professional thing on stage. And earlier, when it was my guru, he was always accompanying me, Pandit Birju Maharaji. He would be there, either on the tabla, on the padhan. In fact, he would do my makeup also. But then I had to go to Bombay for a performance, and I think it was in 1970 or 71. And in those days, we had there was a tradition, that was the format, which perhaps the VC might remember in those days, early days, is that the main artist was booked, but the organizer booked the tabla artist. So with that, I had the chance of being accompanied by the great doyens of that period, Ustad Latif Ahmed Khan, Pandit Shamta Prasad, Pandit Godai Maharaj, and so on and so forth. So it was Ustad Latif Ahmed Khan had been booked. And now the question was, okay, it was booked. Now, हमारे यहाँ कहते हैं ना कि जब आप था टंग लें, तो ऐसे करे कि और वो कि घंटों निकल जाए और लोगों की ऐसे करे और तो हम भी वैसे ही थे कि अब क्योंकि अब कोई था नहीं, to guide me with the apron strings. So and then I felt the restlessness of the audience. They could see it for about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, but not for a longer time. And then a point came when I thought I would be moved off the stage. And before I moved off, I might as well move off the stage. I don't know what happened to me. Something snapped within me. I came pirouetting back, and then I went into Madhyalaya and I said, Latif bhai, and there is a and the moment the audience sat up, and it was in Shanmukhanand Hall, Bombay, and then they sat up and I had the audience with me. So that was another lesson I learned, that one is the off-screen practice, off-stage practice, but application in a real world, how you have to adapt yourself to it without and the word is without compromising on your classicality.
So, ma'am, probably you're already telling me that value somehow, and dealing with anxiety, I think, and adapting to yourself. So I think the kind of anxiety we're feeling towards COVID, so if we adapt to it and accept it, probably it will we'll feel better about it and we'll be able to deal with it better.
I think the worst enemy within us is fear. That's the enemy. And that is the basic enemy, fear of the unknown. What's going to happen? And so the moment we conquer that fear within, you might keep telling me, please do this, please do that. My gurus might keep telling, my parents may have told me, but the fear is within you. You have to overcome it. Right, and so that is the first great enemy within you. And
no, I think very interestingly, we were talking about something. It's something like a go with the flow. So when you're on the dance floor and you take complete control, so that was amazing that you did. Maybe you can throw some light on that flow and that energy that you have, that you could touch base with all the audience sitting far and near.
That happens once you're yourself. Is that whatever you do, you have to be true to yourself. You have to be true to your art and true to your being, both. You have to be true to both the things. And you have to be extremely sensitive. You have to have depth. If you don't have depth and you're true to yourself, but so the two don't go. There is a little contradiction. And you have to have depth in your art, because it's finally the depth in your art that brings out the trueness in your art, and that makes you, and those are the vibrations which actually emanate. The thing is that once in the Kanpur festival, I was being accompanied by Pandit Kishan Maharaji, and we अब वो है कि the audience was loving it. We went on. Would you believe it that the program went on for 4.5 hours? I was immersed. Panditji was immersed, and so was the audience. So it is the whole thing that when sabhi mein sama bandh jaye, tab aage बढ़ता. Another one is that when how you reach out. If you're is that there was in 1996 at a Kathak Mahotsav in Delhi, where they had asked us to do a choreographic piece for half an hour. And at that point of time, like after 2012, you had Nirbhay everywhere. And at that time, there were a couple of, 3-4 incidents happening in quick succession, rather sad, about incest. And then, one really sort of enraged me was when the perpetuator had been let off on very technical ground. And therefore, so what was the anger? That was a feeling within me, a torment within me. And it automatically translated itself into the medium that I know best, and that was dance. And my musicians were aghast. They said, are you going to show? I said, who's going to show anything? Nothing. So I said, I'm only showing the trauma of the girl and the trauma of the mother. That's all that I'm going to do. And in Kamani, I performed it. Would you believe it? You're talking about how it can art can reach out to the audience. Everyone in the audience was crying. Sadhna Srivastav, who was the announcer, was crying in the wings. The curtain puller of Kamani had tears rolling down. He forgot to even put the parda down, the curtain down. So,
ma'am, we are also looking forward to some of your mudras, looking forward to seeing some of your mudras and bhavs. Ma'am, just one more thing I wanted to ask you. You yourself said that you have to be true to yourself and true to the art. And this talks about the values. So India also has a rich heritage and of culture and art. And do you think that has an impact on the values?
Yes, I do. I think to a large extent, I would say, first of all, values also comes from the swa of the person. Every person is born with a certain uniqueness. But largely, the Indian performing arts, our values are imbibed, our performing artists do imbibe it. First of all, the whole thing about, how you respect for everything, respect for the bhumi, respect for the nature, respect for. Now, through the art, you come to know your own literature and philosophy. But more importantly, if you're a good artist, you'll find that you're balancing out the negativity within you.
Right.
Because every person is born with a Tandav and a Lasya. When I say that, that means I'm not using it in the Ardhanarishwar form. I'm using it in the sense of extreme polarities of emotions, the extreme emotions. And what is yoga? Yoga is talking about a balancing, a harmony. And that is what. Do you see artists involved in violence, in murder, or this and that? No. Do you see artists involved in heinous crimes of XYZ variety? No. Or most of the artists also you know, their way of differing, difference of opinion is very different from common man's opinion, way of. We all have differences of opinion, लेकिन हमारा है कि बेताला है, बेसुरा है, that kind of a thing. तो लेकिन difference of opinion, लेकिन वो बेताला बेसुरे में ही रह जाते हैं, और एक शालीनता है differences में, in it's
so Shobna ji, at this point I also wanted to bring in Dr. Sanjay Jha. Professor Jha is the head of the liberal arts at Amity University, Haryana. And liberal art being at the center stage of human values, I would ask Professor Jha that Professor Jha, how do you think the values can help in dealing with this crisis?
Well, thank you, Dr. Reena. Well, your question reminds me of a quote by Aristotle. He said, "Educating the mind without educating heart is no education at all." And I'm proud to say that our School of Liberal Arts is founded on the principles of values, in which we make a perfect integration between mind and heart, or between knowledge and wisdom. With this pride in liberal arts, let me first of all extend my warm greetings to our Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, Professor Padmakali Banerjee, then Padma Shri, respected Shobna Narayanji, the moderators of this panel discussion, Dr. Reena Nigam and Dr. Supriya Sanju, and all the esteemed participants of this discussion. Coming to your question, I will say firstly that unlike different types of values, like organizational values, academic values, business values, and many others, here we are talking of human values. It goes without saying that India is a land of values, and therefore our ancestors made a remarkable balance between social, economic, and emotional values of life. This is the land that has given the message of humanity to the world in different forms, through different slokas, through different mantras. Like if you see a sloka like Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pasyantu Ma Kaschit Dukh Bhag Bhavi. Means, may all be at peace, may all be sinless, may all experience happiness, and may no one experience suffering. Similarly, when it comes to performing duties, it reminds me of the popular composition of the great poet Narsingh Mehta. Vaishnav janato tene kahiye je, pir parai jane re, par dukhe upkar kare to ye, man abhiman na aane re. Means, one who is a good person feels the pain of others, does good to others, especially to those ones who are in misery, and does not let ego enter his mind. And the impact and intensity of such ethical values can be widely seen in this ongoing crisis of corona, in which all the health workers, social workers in group and at individual level are committed to serve their affected countrymen, day and night. And this is why we give due importance to human values in our curriculum of liberal arts. The level and type of human values, humanistic care and support that we provide to our students of liberal arts is simply extraordinary and unmatched. And the credit goes to our value-based faculty. Unlike many other streams, we in liberal arts do not hire teachers, rather we hire gurus, because our learning outcome is not information-based, rather intellect-based. But yes, the irony is today we have more teachers and less gurus. Sorry to say that.
So that is why I was thinking that only last week I read your blog in which you have spoken about the diminishing human values.
Right.
So I mean, this kind of creates a contrast, because that we are a rich state with, country with so much of culture, And then, there are human values which are diminishing. So could you throw some light on that?
I will not say that human value is diminishing in general, but if you see, I mean, the current scenario, yes, indeed, I have said that we lack human leadership. I am saying human leadership. And by human leadership, I mean, you need to have humanistic approach in tackling human problems. In this ongoing lockdown, let's take a small example of social distancing, whose purpose was to keep corona at a distance, not to keep humanity at a distance. God knows who coined this term, but social distancing was never a part of our culture. The moment you say social distancing, you feel from within that you are going at a distance and you are creating a divide between two persons, two communities, and two states. It is always better to use physical distancing, not social distancing, which I think Sri Mohan Bhagwat also used this term, physical distancing last week in his address to the nation. So, in the name of social distancing, we have become so callous and indifferent to each other that we have stopped worrying about others' well being as if they are untouchables. I remember the day when the first case of a suspected corona patient, was reported in IMT Manesar. I was shocked to see that video of, a team of doctor and police, uh, it sounded as if, the patient or the suspected patient is not the patient, rather, a kind of, notorious criminal or terrorist kind of thing, So, we have to have some human approach, So that is somewhere lacking, Even if you see the case of like migrants, it's so pathetic, Instead of, asking them food, the administration is somehow, punishing them severely. Did we ever think about how these workers reach their home or starve to death on the way? Who is keeping records of deaths and suicides caused by corona stigma, starvation, depression, family feud, humiliation, and joblessness? Are these deaths not a matter of grave concern for us? Or are we just supposed to glue to our TV set and keep counting our number of how many died, how many got infected? No. The problem is not ours. The problem is of our system. We have been indoctrinated to behave like this. The problem is because we have gone very far from our instinctive values and Indic philosophy of life. And not just government, rather, we all need to be more sensitive to human issues. And the need of the hour is to sanitize not only our body, but more importantly, our mind and soul. I'm very much sure that values emanating from liberal arts will keep or will help in creating a humane leadership and a better species of human on this planet. So, Dr.
Sir, you have invoked a lot of emotions in us. In fact, what you have said is true. And, I have also wondered that why social distancing when we're actually talking about physical distancing. And yes, the human approach. So although, we have had some good examples also where people showed a lot of empathy and showed a lot of compassion. Yes, we have some bad examples also. Shobna ji, I'm coming to you once again. At that time we just we started to talk about your how regarding certain crisis, certain past tragic experience, and now we would also, once again request you. We would not like to miss this opportunity to show those bhaws. If it is not a problem, can we see some mudras and bhaws now here when you're present here in front of us?
I just, before doing that, I'd like to take up on what Dr. Jha said, because I couldn't agree with him more. And I'm connecting it to artists and their reaction to society and human values, because that sensitivity is always there within artists. And you'll find all the artists, even in their quiet way, have been turning out, going out and reaching and helping out, to giving help and extending help even to brethren artists in their own way, besides others. That is one thing. And another thing is about sensitivity and humanity. You'll find artists are not lacking in that. And that is what performing artist does. And I always say that our Devis and Devtas have always been made out to be classical artists, because to bring about that balance of that sensitivity, compassion, and humanity. I would also like to mention that a lot of people who are sitting at home and unable to even deal with the whole issue of being are prone to depression. And I've been hearing about how depressed we are, we can't go out. Why? We can make our lives beautiful ourselves by helping others, and also, first of all, also make your own attitude beautiful. Then only can you help others. And you also help others. And it always reminds me about एक चिंता और एक बिंदु मात्र का फर्क है. And there's a beautiful Sanskrit saying, चिंता दहति जीवनम. चिता जो है वो निर्जीव को जलाती है, लेकिन चिंता जीवित को जला देती है. तो हम जब है, why are we getting into that whole as this thing? So that is also what I would like to address people who are sitting in lockdown and say, how can we deal with this period of lockdown? How can we be? Because as all of you have said, as everyone says, physical distancing is there, but not social distancing. Certainly not social, and not social help, not social help, calling on each other, not even talking about कि भाई गुफ्तगू तो करो, आप संपर्क जोड़िए, गुफ्तगू तो कीजिए, reach out to the elderly, reach out to the others who you are unable to visit. So that aspect of compassion and sensitivity should be paramount in all of us who are as human beings, yeah, and now you see beautiful examples of how even a hawk is coming and and trusting a human being, and the human beings are also in their own way are even feeding the hawk and others. So the wild animals. So there's a give and take relationship. You be good, sort of, if I'm kind, obviously, at the moment I see a smile on the other's face, I think that gives you more joy and bliss than anything else. Coming to कि भाव देखते हैं, भाव देखना है, क्या देखा है?
Something which is relevant to the present times.
मैम, मेरे देश उदास न हो, आपने वो किया था पोएम.
जी मेरे उसके वर्ड्स तो भूल रही हूँ. मेरे देश उदास न हो, तो उसका अगर मैं रिकॉर्डिंग जरा लगा दूं तो फिर मैं कर दूं, तो एक दो लाइन मैं देखूं कहाँ है, यदि है मेरे पास रिकॉर्डिंग तो.
Beautiful.
Nice.
That was
Beautiful.
very, very beautiful.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Extremely
Amazing,
beautiful.
amazing. All the participants must have been so happy to see you, but at the same time, I think they couldn't hear the music.
Music we
So,
could not hear. Yeah.
so maybe she thinks the music is on, I think.
Yeah.
Ma'am, Shobna ji, could you please unmute your mic?
Ah.
Okay, that was beautiful. I think if we could give you a digital standing ovation, would be
Okay,
just that.
I want to send many emojis to you. The good emojis to you. And
you know,
you're actually interacting with so many youth. I mean, all of the participants, I think most of the average age must be not more than 25. So I'm sure everybody is taken so much, and it's also so calming and distressing. So I think, and even at this stage, I hope I can learn something from you on Kathak. So much of expression.
No, I'll just tell you the meaning of this, because this is written by Ramthari Singh Dinkar, and it is called Aag Ki Bheek. That today we have lost that urja, that energy within us, and it is a prayer that give us that energy back again. And you have to, at the moment, even Kesaris, and the mountains, etc., are all bowing before the desolation and the kind of environment that is created. But then we need hope. We need that strength within us. So rekindle, give us renewed energy, rekindle that energy within us so that we can move forward. So it is a prayer for rekindling one's own inner energy, one's own inner self, and ask for humanity and for moving forward.
Beautiful.
was amazing, and we could see Krodh and Bhai and many rasas here, and also surrender, I think. So it was beautiful. And ma'am, thank you so much for giving us those. Although we never thought that it would be possible to feel the energy from here, but it was actually, and we all loved it.
I wish I put a speaker on, so that you could have heard it better.
Maybe when we see you in person, and I hope we do that soon. Padma Kali ma'am, we'll come back to you. And first of all, I really thank you for conceiving this idea, because it was so beautiful. I never imagined that we would actually feel the vibrant atmosphere that we have created here. So, ma'am, how would you now, sum up that, and like you always say that, there's meaning to this session. So, what meaning should we derive from here?
I think today's session was more to experience rather than just listen. So there was so much of, experiential knowledge that people, interacted, they could listen to. I think it was a very beautiful experience of artists coming and speaking to you. But at the same time, what I want to highlight that, an artist like Padma Shri Shobna Narayan, where she could, bring in, she's a harbinger of optimism. She's full of, positive energy. So what I see is that, this is what people can take away, that whatever you want to do in life, whatever you plan to do in life, take it forward. And the role of art, culture is always going to shape our lives. And people are experiencing this kind of a lockdown, and they've realized that life is not just about rush hours. Life is not just about, flying from one country to the other. Life is about coming together, sharing different cultures, understanding each other, working for the humanity. So I think what we are also looking at the university, that especially this generation, my heart goes out to my youthful students. They are so innovative, and this is an era of post knowledge economy, which is an innovative economy of innovation. So I'm sure the artists would have a role to play, even when you're discovering things like artificial intelligence, how people behave, what they do, the way a dancer is able to bring in front and sensitize people. So if you go back into the history, you will see most of the mutinies and the independence struggle. You look at what authors have written, what writers write about. So authors, writers, storytellers, dancers, musicians, so much. I mean, I would say that this is something that everybody, every human being, every student, every participant today, they should give some time to any form of art that they should practice, be it even doodling, or be it playing some synthesizer or a guitar, or even seeing. When you listen or see from artists like this, you imbibe a lot of qualities in you. So this is something that I would like to say, and I'm so happy that this session could come through. And each of the points, like even what Dr. Jha talked about, from his heart, from the passion that at Amity that we have to bring in those sanskar and values within our students and our community. So the culture is very vibrant. In fact, Dr. Chauhan, Dr. Asim Chauhan, who is the chancellor.
Just want to say something. I'd just like to say something that there's a beautiful poem of Ali Sardar Jafri. He says, कि अच्छे दिन आएंगे, you know, hope, if you have hope, कि लेकिन मैं यहाँ फिर आऊँगा, लेकिन मैं यहाँ फिर आऊँगा, and that change is constant. It's a constant thing. So we have to accept all. लेकिन मैं यहाँ फिर आऊँगा, बच्चों के दहन से बोलूँगा, चिड़ियों की ज़बां से गाऊँगा, जब बीज हंसेंगे धरती में और कोपले अपनी उंगली से मिट्टी की तहों को छेड़ेंगी, मैं पत्ती पत्ती कली कली अपनी आंखें फिर खोलूंगा, सरसब्ज हथेली पर लेकर शबनम के कतरे धोलूंगा.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Great. So, Dr. Reena, I would just like to end by saying that this is an experience, and like our Chancellor, Dr. Asim Chauhan, who himself really likes this kind of innovation within curriculum design and delivery, this kind of an experience I'm going to share to every member of our Amity fraternity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And, you know, I can see some of the messages here. Somebody said that, you know, although there was no audio, but the eyes and smile saying so much. So, you know, they actually enjoyed that experience. And
I should have stopped and run inside and got my sound box. You know?
but no, it was really beautiful. And
it is actually summed up in colloquial language. We say a dil mange more. So this will continue. This is just the beginning.
This will continue. So exactly, like all good things and bad things come to an end. This session, although we would wish that it should go on and on, but this must come to an end. And the evil thing, the bad thing, the COVID-19 and the pandemic should come to an end. So with that hope, we end this session. Thank you so much, everyone. Dr. Padma Kali Banerjee, Padma Shri Shobna Narayanji, thank you so much for giving your valuable time. Professor
Reena,
Jha,
before you close it, I think Shobna ji, I want last one more minute from you at least. I want to end this with you on the screen. So we would like one line from you with your mudra, whatever you want to do, because ye dil mange more.
I'd just like to say, taking on this subject of humanity, and that we are artists and humanity, and so where everyone should have this. I love this verse of Kabir. He says, जब मैं था, तब हरि नहीं, जब मैं था, तब हरि नहीं, अब हरि है तो मैं नहीं, रेल गली सांकड़ी बेधो न समाए, मैं था तब हरि नहीं, अब हरि है तो मैं नहीं.
Beautiful.
When I was there, the I, ego was prominent. Where was God? Where was humanity? Where was my heart? But now that humanity prevails, that I has vanished, that ego has vanished.
Very true.
Very beautiful.
That beautiful note, and a big thank you to all the panelists. Thank you so much once again. I end this session. although there's so many messages, everyone's saying amazing and they really enjoyed the session. So thank you so much.
Thank you.